The moment that occurred in Taehyung BTS's latest live broadcast became one of the most emotional events ARMY has witnessed so far this year. Not because of the new music, not because of the big comeback announcement, but because of Kim Taehyung's honest tears when talking about episode 8 of Are You Sure? An episode that showcases Jungkook and Jimin's closeness in a way so intimate that it touches the limits of the feelings of anyone who watches it. The live was initially relaxed. Taehyung appears simple, speaking in his trademark soft tone, occasionally smiling and joking with fans. But the mood changes drastically when the topic is Are You Sure? Episode 8 is called. Taehyung's gaze was immediately different, deeper, quieter, as if he were holding something heavy against his chest. Episode 8 that changed everything. Episode 8. Are you sure? Indeed, it instantly triggered a huge wave of reaction. Jungkook and Jimin are shown in moments that are very personal. Long looks, small touches full of meaning, laughter that only the two of them understand, to silence that feels louder than any dialogue. Many called this episode the most honest, the most real, even the most painful and beautiful. Not a few admitted to watching with mixed feelings, happy to see their closeness, but also touched by the depth of emotions that radiated. And as it turned out, that feeling was felt by Taehyung as well. Even more strongly, Taehyung's cry that made live silent. When a fan asked about his thoughts on episode 8, Taehyung was silent for a while. He took a deep breath, lowered his head, then tried to smile. But the smile did not last long. His voice began to tremble when he finally spoke. I watched it, and honestly, it was heavy, she said slowly. A few seconds later, Taehyung's eyes began to glaze over. He didn't cry immediately, but it was clear that his emotions were running high. As he rubbed his face and tears finally fell, the live seemed to stop breathing. The ARMY watching felt the same way, silent, shocked, and swept away. Taehyung's cry was not a dramatic one. No loud sobs, no exaggerated gestures. That is precisely what makes it so painful. Tears that fall softly, born of feelings too deep to be described in words. They are too romantic. The most electrifying sentence came afterwards. With a still trembling voice, Taehyung told the truth. They are too romantic. Until I myself did not know how to feel. The statement went viral immediately, not because of the word romantic, but because of who said it and how it was said. No joking tone. No seductive smiles. There is only the raw honesty of a friend who witnessed the bond of two others so strong. Taehyung then adds that Jungkook and Jimin have a very unique relationship, one that can't be simplified by any label. He called their closeness real, warm, and soulful. But it was precisely there that his emotions collapsed. Between pride, anger, and unspoken feelings. Many ARMY interpreted Taehyung's crying as a form of inner conflict. Not jealousy, nor regret, but a mixture of pride, emotion, and loss in a very subtle form. As someone who grew up with Jungkook and Jimin, Taehyung certainly understands the dynamics of their relationship more deeply than anyone. Have you seen episode 8? As if to make him realize that the bond has grown to a very personal level and, perhaps, no longer requires the presence of anyone in between. It doesn't say that explicitly, but from the tone of his voice, from the way he avoided eye contact with the camera, and from the tears that fell without him being able to stop, ARMY felt the same message. There was a feeling that he could not explain, even to himself. ARMY reaction. Join the crying and hit. It didn't take long for the live cut to spread across multiple platforms. Social media was filled with ARMY comments claiming to be crying with Taehyung. Many said that this was the first time they had seen BTS's V so fragile and exposed. This is not idol. This is a human being who is feeling something very deep. The way Taehyung cried made my chest ache. Episode 8, Are You Sure? It not only touched ARMY, but it also broke Taehyung's heart. Even some fans called this moment one of the most emotional live in BTS history. Jungkook and Jimin. Romantic without realizing it? One of the most interesting things is how Jungkook and Jimin don't seem to realize how strong of a romantic aura they radiate. In episode 8, there are no explicit confessions, no far-fetched scenes. It was precisely their naturalness, The way Jungkook looked at Jimin, the way Jimin smiled gently at Jungkook, that made everything feel so real. And that's probably what hurt Taehyung the most. Because such emotional honesty cannot be faked and cannot be ignored. A cry that cannot be hidden. What broke ARMY's heart the most was the moment when Taehyung finally burst into tears. Not a dramatic cry, but tears that fall slowly silent, calm, but full of meaning. The camera does not exploit the moment, but rather lets it take place naturally. Taehyung's tears seem to be a symbol of many things. The immense love for the BTS members, the fear of missing a moment of togetherness, and the realization that they are all growing and changing. In a world of entertainment that is often full of masks, this moment feels very honest. Soldiers around the world are crying. Social media was filled with comments about how relatable Taehyung felt. Many fans said they saw themselves in the cry, the feeling of seeing a best friend change, evolve, and discover a world of their own. Jungkook and Jimin, inseparable closeness. Meanwhile, Jungkook and Jimin themselves don't seem to be fully aware of the emotional impact their interactions are having. The two remain what they are, laughing, joking, and supporting each other in a very natural way. For Jungkook, Jimin is a person who always gives him a sense of security. In the episode, Jungkook admits that Jimin is the person he trusts the most to share his fears and doubts. Jimin, on the other hand, calls Jungkook a home, a place where he can be himself without judgment. This closeness isn't new to the ARMY, but how are you sure? Showing it off makes everything feel more intense. Without a big stage, without grandiose choreography, just two people sitting side by side and talking heart to heart. ARMY reaction. Between Haru and reflection. After episode 8 aired, ARMY's reaction was absolutely explosive. Many praised Taehyung's courage to show his emotions openly. In a K-pop world that often demands idols to always be strong and perfect, Taehyung's honesty feels very valuable. Part of ARMY also highlighted how mature and healthy BTS's relationship dynamics are. There is no open conflict, no excessive drama. Only feelings are recognized and accepted. For many fans, this actually reinforces the belief that BTS bonds are not just colleagues, but family. More than a reality show. Episode 8, Are You Sure? Proving that this show is not just about entertainment. It became a safe space for BTS members to express themselves, reflect on their relationships, and show their rarely seen human side. Emotional Taehyung, close, knit Jungkook and Jimin. All of this forms a profound narrative of friendship, love, and change. It is a reminder that behind the global status of superstars, they remain human beings with complex feelings. Closing. Tears that reveal the truth. Taehyung's crying on live is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it is a testament to emotional maturity and the courage to be honest before millions of people. He does not try to cover up his feelings, nor divert the topic. He lets himself feel what he feels and shares it unfiltered. Episode 8, Are You Sure? Perhaps featuring Jungkook and Jimin as the center of the story. But through Taehyung's tears, we see the other side of the story. The friendship, the change, and the feelings that arise when someone we love discovers a world of their own. And for ARMY, this moment will always be remembered as the moment when Taehyung not only spoke, but cried honestly from the deepest heart.